All right, we're going to do one more quick audio check for press. Just make sure everyone's seeing signal. One more quick audio check. While we're doing that, press, post-show interviews, they will be coming to you. Please do not come this way. They will come to you. So when the event is done, just stay over there and they will come that way. Everyone seeing signal? Still hearing everything? Yep, I got thumbs up there. I'm going to assume. At this point, if you're not, check with your friends, because it just means you got something not plugged in right. We're going to be getting started here in a little bit, but again, just want to make sure everyone feels good. Again, reminder, post-show interviews, they will bring them to you. Please do not come up to the stage afterwards. Cool? Everyone's good? Good? Feel good? Great.
Well, good afternoon, everybody, and thank you for being here for this historic event, a truly historic event. I'm Bud Danker. I'm president of Penske Corporation, and between myself and Eric Shanks, CEO of Fox Sports, you'll meet in a little bit, we were the ideation team of having this event come to our nation's capital and surrounding this beautiful national mall for the Freedom 250 Grand Prix, which is 166 days away, but who's counting other than me right now, right? But I want to thank you all for coming because it's just a glorious day, probably the best day we've seen of the year. So, I mean, who figures there? We're going to have an amazing group of speakers today, all people that were involved in bringing this amazing event, historic event to our city. And we're going to make history together. We're going to honor our country, honor our nation with unparalleled spectacles that people have never seen before, with cars and drivers racing around the nation's capital, around the nation's mall, at speeds of 180 plus miles an hour. It'll truly be a memorial event to celebrate our country's anniversary. Before I bring up the speakers, you all are wondering what's in front of me, right? And of course, this is the picture-taking piece here. This is our show car that will be traveling around Washington, D.C. and the region for the next few months. And I'd like to have Ambassador Crowley, Secretary Duffy, Secretary Burgum, and Mayor Bowser come up and do the honors to unveil our Freedom 250 Indy car. Please. Ready? 1, 2, 3, go! What do you think, Secretary? The keys are not in it. I understand Mr. Duffy wants to get inside of it later on. That was Burgum. Oh, Burgum wants to get inside of it later on. But so you'll be seeing a lot of that. In fact, the Monumental Sports folks have been gracious enough to have that being in their building for the next few months. So you'll be seeing a lot of it at the sporting events as well. So there's a steering wheel. There you go. Exactly. Exactly. Well, thank you for unveiling it. Now we'll get on to the remarks here. Thank you, Ambassador. You know what? There's a lot of people to thank, as I mentioned, that have come to the table to allow us to have the event. It's pretty unconventional to have an idea like this, right, to come to our national city to put on a sporting event that someone's never seen. But I also have to thank our president, Donald J. Trump. He was the one that provided us the executive order to have the event. Originally, our idea was to have the race across the city, across these streets, and that didn't go about happening. So we brought it to the city. I want to thank Secretary Burgum for allowing us to be on his property here, the National Mall, to allow these racers to come to here. I want to thank the mayor and her team who have made this possible as well, too. A couple things. This will be a 501c3 structure. Why is that important? We're taking no profit off this event. 501c3, number one. And importantly, and most importantly, all the fans that come to see our event can come here for free. Let me say that again. Can come here for free to see this event. And Madam Mayor, the proceeds we have left over from the event, we plan to donate to local D.C. charities. So that's a big part of our mission as well. You know, I mentioned the man that was responsible for the ideation of this. That's Eric Shanks. And Eric Shanks is the CEO and executive producer for Fox Sports. He's the type of person who sees opportunities when other people see challenges. He sees the vision for these events. He sees what happens at any sporting event. And by the way, Fox Sports has all the World Cup events through the course of this summer. And imagine them premiering those, our event, in advance of their events throughout the course of this summer. Eric takes things to a higher level. And with his vision, his ingenuity, we're going to take this event to the greatest level. So I'm proud to introduce, please, and have him bring up here Eric Shanks, CEO of Fox Sports. Thank you, Eric.
Thank you, Bud. Are you available for my obituary? That would be absolutely amazing. I have a few thank yous, and then I'm going to get to a video. But on behalf of Fox Sports, it really is an honor to stand here as we prepare to bring the world's fastest sport to the heart of the world's most powerful city. And as Bud said, a project of this magnitude has to have vision from the very top. And we're here today because of President Trump's executive order, which literally paved the way for this race to become a cornerstone of our national celebration. We want to thank the administration for recognizing that there is no better way to celebrate America 250 than by showcasing American speed and ingenuity on the streets of our capital. And as Bud said, I also want to extend our sincere thanks to Secretary Duffy, Secretary Burgum. Secretary Duffy's vision for American infrastructure, and Doug, your focus on American innovation and energy is exactly what IndyCar represents. And to Mayor Bowser, thank you for your partnership in turning the streets of this district into a world-class arena. And you guys have a great view this way. We have a great view that way as well. So for everybody that's going to be here, no matter which way you look, this is going to be the most distinctly American sporting event that we've ever had. But we're not just here to announce a race, we're here to celebrate a milestone. As our nation marks America 250, this race serves as a tribute to 2.5 centuries of American grit, ingenuity, and the relentless drive to move forward. And if you think about it, this is the most apropos sporting event we could ever have, because before we had bats, before we had balls, before we had hoops, the original sport was just who's the fastest. It is the first sport known to man. And as we program the entire weekend around August 22nd, there's going to be a lot of different racing events out here. And Secretary Duffy, I'm here to propose a cabinet foot race. Sean, who would be the fastest in the cabinet if you had to choose? Bobby Kennedy might be fastest. Okay. Well, we're going to see. Scotty Turner. Okay, so it's going to be a good race. The odds are probably like 3-1 Bobby, right? Okay. That's going to be absolute fun. So you can tell we take our role as a storyteller of this era very seriously. We wanted to see what happens when you pair the historic backdrop of our capital with the cutting-edge future of IndyCar. And to get to it, we want to show you what we built. The amazing AI team at Fox Sports rendered a first look of this course in action. It's more than a simulation. It's an actual preview of the energy that's soon going to take over the streets. So please direct your attention to the screens, and we'll take a look. Thank you.
The fans have turned up in a huge way this weekend. And it's quite simple. History.
We're in it to win it, bud. 10-4. 3, 2, 1.
And you can hear the crowd. History in the mission.
Changes the game totally.
How about that, huh? Who's ready to go racing? And by the way, that green flag is going to drop right here. And the checkered flag at the end of the race is going to drop right here as well. Imagine the sights of that when we start the race, when we end the race. You know, one of the most anticipated things that people have been waiting for, especially the race car drivers and the race teams, has been our race circuit. They haven't seen it yet. They don't know where we're racing. They heard we're coming here to racing, but they have no idea where this racetrack is going to go. And with the help of Mayor Bowser and Secretary Burgum, we've got an amazing racetrack that I want to show you right now. Right now. So here's the track. Behind me, I mentioned, is going to be where the green flag drops. And up here to my right, at the corner of 3rd and Pennsylvania, is where Turn 1 is going to be. And Turn 1 will take us down to 9th Street. And at 9th Street, the drivers will make a hard 90-degree turn onto 9th, down to Constitution, real short shoot, moving from there, taking a left on Constitution to 7th, and crossing the National Mall on 7th Street. Imagine the looks what that's going to look like, and I'll show you pictures of that here in a few seconds. You make a left on Independence Avenue, around the Space and Science Museum there. Coming up in front of the FAA building, Mr. Secretary, around from the Smithsonian buildings here to Maryland, right over here, Maryland to 3rd Street, barreling down here again to Turn 1. It's a 1.7 mile, 7-turn track, very quick. I'm estimating 53, 55 seconds a lap. Can you imagine that? Instead of 1.7 mile track. That's what these brave drivers will be enduring for over 100 laps during this event, August 22nd and 23rd. A few images to show you what you can expect. Look at these shots of what it's going to look like in front of our nation's capital. The shots of coming around turn 1, incredible. In front on 7th Street, in front of the Washington Monument. In front of the Air and Space Museum. In front of the National Archives. Imagine these views that people are going to see, not just here if you're present, but from around the world to celebrate our country's 250th anniversary. So those are the spectacles, those are the views that we're so excited about to represent to you all and to our nation, our nation's history. You know, I want to introduce our next speaker, and that's Ambassador Monica Crowley. You know, early on in the ideation of this mission, I presented to her our idea. And the 250th anniversary of our company provides us a unique opportunity, as she knows and I know, for all Americans to unite in celebrating the shared history and values that make this the greatest nation on earth. Ambassador Crowley is at the forefront of the efforts to put this together, but also at the forefront of everything going on around the country with Freedom 250. And with her and Keith Crack over here, Keith, raise your hand, CEO of Freedom 250, they have put together an amazing amount of events and activities across our country, including the National Mall, that you're going to see throughout the course of this year, ending with our amazing event in August 22nd, 23rd. Please welcome to the stage Ambassador Monica Crowley.
Well, thank you so much, Bud. And as Bud mentioned, I am Ambassador Monica Crowley. I serve as Chief of Protocol of the United States. And in addition to that day job, President Trump has also asked me to serve as his administration's representative to all of the major U.S.-hosted events, including America's 250, the FIFA World Cup, and the 2028 Olympic Games to be held in Los Angeles, California. And you just heard Bud say, is everybody ready for racing? Well, as you can see from my jacket, my leopard print jacket, I clearly am ready for racing. Usually in my job as Chief of Protocol, I'm wearing pearls. Not today, because today I'm ready for racing. It is such an honor and joy, Bud, to join you and all of our Penske partners for this Grand Prix race. Also to join Secretaries Duffy and Burgum here today, Muriel Bowser. Thank you so much for your support as well. You know, America's story is one of vision and courage, perseverance, and speed. We do things fast in the United States of America. We're only 250 years old, and look what we have accomplished in that short amount of time. What better way to honor our nation's 250th birthday than to host this Grand Prix race in our nation's capital during our big birthday year? Presidents George Washington and Thomas Jefferson used to host spirited horse races to mark notable celebrations in the early days of this country. What we are going to do with this race is bring that storied tradition into the 21st century. I want to give a big shout out to my colleague Keith Crack of Freedom 250. Freedom 250 is a public-private partnership that is bringing together so many elements to make sure that every American, every community, every state, the entire nation, and indeed the entire world will come together to help celebrate America's big birthday party. And as part of Freedom 250, we're going to be celebrating here on the National Mall in a couple of different ways. First, we're going to be celebrating with the Great American State Fair. All 50 states of the Union will be represented with their own pavilions here on the Mall. We're also going to host a national prayer event on May 17th here, because we cannot restore our nation without God. So we are going to recommit the nation, return the nation to one nation under God at that event. We're going to host a UFC 250 fight on the White House South Lawn on the President's birthday, June 14th, which also happens to be Flag Day. And it is all going to culminate on July 3rd and 4th with an international naval review in New York City, New York Harbor. We have about 40 countries sending tall ships, as well as modern naval ships and weaponry that is all going to be on display on July 4th. And then, of course, here in our nation's capital on July 4th, the grandest celebration, a true salute to America, with, according to President Trump's instructions, the largest fireworks display of all time. And knowing him, he means it, so we are going to deliver that, not just for him, but for the American people, and truly for the world. What's really interesting, and people are so tied to the July 4th date for obvious reasons, but after July 4th, we still have 6 more months of celebratory time for our 250th birthday. That's what makes this IndyCar Grand Prix race so critically important. It is vital to Freedom 250 and the celebrations that we are going to execute all year long, because this will be taking place in August. So it gives us another big event to celebrate, to look forward to toward the end of the summer and beyond. None of this would be happening without President Trump's vision and his perseverance, his vision for what he wanted in order to celebrate America's big birthday party. And, you know, he jokes that in his first term, he was able to bring the FIFA World Cup here for 2026, as well as the Olympic Games in 2028. And then he jokes that he tries to take credit for America's 250th birthday, but we won't let him. And I think that's exactly right. But this means so much to him personally, to be able to preside over our nation's big birthday. I will not ask for a show of hands to mark your age, but there may be some of us in this audience who remember the bicentennial celebration in 1976. That was an extraordinary time. And I was very, very young at the time, but I do remember not the details of that celebration. I don't remember where President Ford was that day or what he said, but I do remember being at the New Jersey seashore with my parents and my sister, and having a small American flag in one hand and a sparkler in the other. And I remember the entire community on Long Beach Island came out, the entire country came out to celebrate. So while we may not remember exactly what happened that day, we all remember how we felt. It was an indelible sense of patriotism and freedom. What a gift it is to be able to share that indelible sense of American patriotic spirit, American exceptionalism with the next generations from sea to shining sea. We seek at Freedom 250 to recreate that feeling for every American, and in particular, every child. This race is going to be a critical part of that. So I want to thank all of our partners, our Fox Sports broadcast partners, the City of Washington, the mayor, everybody who's so deeply involved in making this unprecedented event a success, because it is going to be a vital part of relaying that feeling of America's exceptionalism to all of us and to every future generation. Thank you so much. God bless you, and may God continue to bless the United States of America. Thank you.
Before I ask Secretary Burgum to come up here, United States Secretary of Interior, I just stand here and look at the Washington Monument in front of me, Secretary. I mean, how blessed are we, right, with what you provided us here, your rangers, your National Park Police every day, to keep this place the sanctity we have to look at. A lot of us take it for granted, don't we? We should never take this for granted, what we have here in front of us. But, you know, this milestone would not be possible without two things, without the people that's speaking here today, and that's great leadership and also great teamwork. Secretary Burgum, your team, at your senior level to your rangers and everybody, have been our partners in this journey for the last 6 months, and I can't thank you enough. Secretary Burgum exemplifies leadership. He exemplifies the teamwork that has to take place to have these kind of events happen, and I couldn't be more appreciative of that. Let's give the Secretary a warm welcome here. Secretary of Interior, Doug Burgum, United States Secretary, for all your help. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Well, thank you, Bud, for the great introduction. Thank you, Ambassador Crowley, for kicking it off and all the great work you do across so many events, including all these Freedom 250. Today is, as a kickoff, it's a day of celebration. And when you have a day of celebration, there's a lot of gratitude to spread around. I want to just start again, as Bud did with President Trump. We talk about speed of racing. This idea had been kicked around for a long time. My understanding is that there was maybe 80 or more meetings. This is the city of red tape. Bud couldn't get to yes. The idea got elevated to the White House. President Trump got involved. He called Sean and I it was on a Saturday. On Thursday, 5 days later, we were standing with Roger Penske, with Bud, with Eric from Fox, the whole team in the Oval Office with an executive order signed saying we got to get going on this thing if it's going to happen, if it's going to materialize. So again, I'm grateful that we've got a leader that knows how to take action and get things done. And then here we are today with this fantastic kickoff. And so again, part of this gratitude, again, Bud, your leadership and helping to bring this extraordinary vision alive, and of course with Roger and everybody at Team Penske. Wouldn't have happened without some other key partners. Because it's Department of Transportation, Sean Duffy, you're going to hear from him, Mayor Bowser for the district support, because this course itself is crossing, federal streets, federal intersections, back to D.C. Metro and back again, back and forth. I mean, this is an example for the whole country about how federal, local, large metros and the private sector can all work together. And of course, again, grateful for, we got Ted here from Monumental Sports. I mean, and Ted, he's going to be speaking in a minute. He's been a friend of mine for 40 years, but what he brings, the joy he brings to the city with the Caps, the Wizards, the Mystics, and so much more. So grateful to have he and the private sector involved in this. And of course, you're going to hear from Eric today, and you're going to hear from Joseph, who just won an IndyCar race 48 hours ago, coming here talking about how we're going to bring world-class racing. But great to have Joseph here as well. Anyway, it's exciting to stand alongside all of these heroes in part of what we call America's front yard. And I want to, as Bud was saying, I want to say thanks to the National Park Service, who's responsible for the mall. National Park Service is going to be deeply involved in opening up all these spaces for the visitors. As Bud said, free. This is a free. Nobody's ever probably had a chance in their lifetime before to go to a race of this caliber and attend for free, and we expect that there could be 1 million+ people that are going to be here over those multiple days of racing. There's going to be giant screens set up and down the mall. It's going to be a fantastic family event. It is going to be just a great, and it wouldn't happen without the Park Service, but also a separate organization, the United States Park Police, the oldest police force in America from a federal standpoint, created by George Washington in 1791. They've got the historic responsibility of taking care of our most iconic images of democracy, whether it's the Statue of Liberty, Golden Gate Recreation, or here in the Washington, D.C., our capital, and they're doing a fantastic job. But for those 250 years, it's nearly been that long. Maybe a little shorter because it wasn't, Washington didn't start out always as being the capital. That was a deal that got cut in a decade or so into our history. But when D.C. became the capital, the National Mall, this original plan that was laid out, it's been the stage in which America tells its story, and it's the place where we as Americans, where we gather. It's where we honor our heroes, and it's where we celebrate our milestones like the 250th. And today, what we're here as part of this group unveiling something that's never happened before in the history in 250 years. There's never been an auto race on the National Mall. And so this Freedom 250, this Grand Prix IndyCar race right here, it's definitely more than just a sporting event. It's truly a celebration of American independence, and it's a tribute to the innovation, the boldness, and the determination that define this country. When we think about America's 250 years, it's really hard to think about anything that's more American than cars. It's long been said Americans have always had a love affair with their cars, and this has been the center of innovation in a major industry. But now, for the first time, that story is going to be written right here on a route that includes 3 of the most famous avenues in America. Think of it. Cars racing at speeds close to 200 miles an hour down Pennsylvania Avenue, Constitution Avenue, and Independence Avenue. What a thrill. Americans are going to see something that's remarkable, and it's going to be the fusion as Bud talks about, these iconic symbols of democracy, that heritage that we have, a fusion of that heritage with the latest in American innovation. So it's a combination of both history and horsepower that's going to be happening here, and it's also about where we've been in our amazing history of the last 250 years, but where we can go with American innovation. The National Mall and its historic sites are entrusted to the Department of Interior, but not as artifacts to be preserved, but as places to be experienced, appreciated, and shared by the American people. There are literally tens of millions of people from around our country and around the world that come, and this might be their only visit to our country if they're a foreign visitor, what they see here. And this event is a powerful example of having these places that we have, are places not just as places to be preserved, but as places to be experienced and appreciated. Working with IndyCar, DOT, and DC, this route that was unveiled today showcases the majesty of these treasured spaces, and at the same time will be safeguarding their integrity. Park Police, the U.S. Park Police, various crews will be out in force to ensure the mall remains safe and pristine before, during, and after the race. And I do want to say a special shout out to Mayor Bowser. It's been such a pleasure working with her team and the U.S. Park Police, as we have now achieved in this city historically safe records in terms of safety, and we've got historically some of the most significant budgets for beautification. Just on fountains alone, we've got over $120 million that's being spent this summer. If you've been a resident of the city and you've walked, thank you. But if you've been a resident of the city or you've been a visitor, you've walked by dozens of fountains that haven't worked for decades. These are all going to be as part of the safe and beautiful executive orders. They're all going to be ready to go by the 4th of July. So we're inviting all Americans to the capital city that we can all be proud of. It's never been safer. It'll never be more beautiful than it is right now. And again, I want to thank all the parties that are here today for coming together with this extraordinary event that has an opportunity to be celebrated by so many Americans in person or again watching on Fox. So thank you everybody today, and thank you, Bud. Fantastic what's happening. Great job.
Thank you very much for being here. You know, our next speaker is Secretary of Transportation Sean Duffy. I'm going to go off script here a little bit. On January 21st, I called Mr. Secretary, and I said, this race is not happening. I called Senator Bernie Moreno, front seat here, didn't I, Bernie, and said, it's not happening. I can't get the votes across the street to make this race happen on Capitol grounds. And Secretary Duffy and his Chief of Staff, Pete Meacham, said, don't make those calls. We have another idea. Other ideas about how we're going to bring this race to our nation's capital, and that was to have it moved. Next day I came here in the morning on a Saturday morning. It was cold, and I walked the areas, I walked the streets with my little roller, measuring the roads, see were they wide enough, were they quality enough. And we found a new racetrack within less than 24 hours, Mr. Secretary. And if it wasn't for his perseverance and pushing me and telling me don't stop and keep moving forward with another idea, and Senator Bernie Moreno pushing me along the way also to say don't give up over here. We're going to make this thing happen and happen in a different way. That's why we have our event. And then once we established it on this national mall, it was Secretary Burgum's involvement, our mayor, Mayor Bowser, to say, okay, we can make that happen. And sure enough, they did. They did. January 21st, this was on life support. And now here we are today to announce this is happening in 166 days. Secretary Duffy's pretty creative. When he thinks about speed and innovation, it's all about what we do here in America with our transportation industry. And, of course, at Penske Corporation, with 400,000 trucks on the road, we sell 500,000 vehicles every year. We're all a part of what his DNA is about transportation, aren't we, Mr. Secretary? I also love his phrase that he coined. Freedom doesn't ring, it revs. Please welcome Secretary of Transportation Sean Duffy.
Thank you, Bud. It's good to be with all of you. As Bud mentioned, today almost didn't happen. So this idea came up about 9-10 months ago, and what we realized was DOT was thinking about a road race in the city at the same time that Penske was thinking about a road race in the city, and we had a meeting and fortuitously brought up the fact that we're thinking about the same race. And so we developed a strategy where I was going to call the president and Roger Penske was going to call the president to pitch him on this great idea, which, by the way, it doesn't take much pitching to the president to say, let's do an all-American road race. He was absolutely yes. And as I'm going to just share a little, we're in D.C., so the sausage making sometimes can be frustrating. I'll share some of the sausage making. Bud came up with a great course. We were going to go around the Capitol, but the Capitol, the Congress would have to do some approvals for us, and frankly, some people didn't want to give them to us. And we were running out of time. And Bud was like, I got 5 days. And we talked about it and said, let's find a different course that's going to work without congressional approval. And he said it was cold, and it actually was cold. I think there was a snowstorm going on in D.C., which, by the way, this weather was way better. But a snowstorm was going on. Bud flew up, came in, walked the course, which brought you to the race course we're going to have on August 23rd. This was a team effort. Again, it's Penske's, it's Fox, it's the mayor, it's Interior, and everybody else joining together, not to make a profit, not to get your name out there, but to say, let's celebrate America. Let's celebrate America's birthday. And what I'm amazed at is the number of companies, the individuals that are willing to give to a great effort to have a great celebration for America's 250th birthday. And again, Fox, who you're going to hear from in a second, Eric, have been great Fox Sports on that front, but also Penske. And as I look at the car, right, it's beautiful. I can't help but notice we have a DOT great logo on the vehicle. You do too, Doug. It's fine. Yours fine. Ours looks great. But I can't wait. It's going to be hot in August. The city kind of falls away. People go to the beach. Congress usually isn't in session. And we're going to bring throngs of Americans into our capital city, and we are going to celebrate our birthday with a free, awesome IndyCar race sponsored by the Penske's, Fox Sports, but Freedom 250. And Bernie, I know Bernie's here. He looks good out there, but anything cars, Bernie's very helpful with. And Bernie, I appreciate your support and help on this as well, one of Ohio's finest. So, again, I'm looking forward to it. 190 miles an hour. Last time we did this, 1801, we had horses race in the Capitol. Next time we do it, we're doing 190, 185, whatever miles an hour, starting right behind us. We're going to start a race in the Capitol. Right behind us is going to be so cool. So I'm looking forward to it. God bless. Freedom Revs.
Thank you, Mr. Secretary. Once again, thank you, Senator Marino, for the push that you kept giving me along the way. You're an amazing leader here in your first term of office as Senator from Ohio. You know, I've often talked to the mayor's team about the big events they put on this city. And Tanya Mitchell and her team, Tina, raise your hand, are an amazing group of people. Commander Bagshaw, where are you? Commander Bagshaw, raise your hand. I know you never like to recognize, but back here in the corner as well. All the special events that go on in this city require an interagency cooperation. And that's a lot of agencies, from the DDOT to fire to permits to everything that goes on. And of course, the people that protect us, Commander Bagshaw and his team as well too, all have to happen here. Mayor Bowser, I've never seen a city ever in doing these events that has the coordination that your team has to put on big events. And I applaud you for that. We should all applaud you for what you do here for this event. Mayor Bowser has truly become a true friend in this process. When I first brought this idea to her, I think she crossed her legs and said, "Really?" And from that initial inception, she has been behind me and inspired me every step of this journey. But she wakes up, more importantly, every day dedicated to our city, its communities, and our residents. And what she has done also, and Ted knows this, to make this a true sports capital is second to none. Please welcome Washington, D.C. Mayor Muriel Bauer.
Thank you. Well, good morning, everybody. I am just really delighted to be here with you, Bud, my new friend, Bud Denker. Give him another big round of applause. He took on a truly Herculean task, and he's going to get it done. And I'm just so grateful for his vision. I want to thank my friend Secretary Burgum and also Secretary Duffy. Please give them both a round of applause. When Secretary Burgum was talking about fountains, that was me clapping. We are so excited that the Secretary has really taken as his charge all of the federal parks and spaces in Washington, D.C., and truly giving them the attention that they deserve. And Secretary Duffy and I usually aren't talking about speeding on D.C. streets, but today we're talking about speeding on D.C. streets, and that's because we are delighted to bring IndyCar to Washington, D.C. And we are very excited to be celebrating American semi-quincentennial in Washington, D.C. So there will be so many events. We have a local commission that is working with the national commissions to make sure that all Americans know that coming to their nation's capital to celebrate America's 250 will be a great time. We are the sports capital. Very frequently people only think of us for our monuments and memorials, and we want you to think of those too. But also think about our world-class sports and entertainment right here in D.C. You're going to hear from a true sports and business leader in our city shortly. Ted Leonsis and his team at Monumental Sports are undertaking a true transformation of the Capital One Arena and building championship teams, and we are grateful for their leadership. So wherever you're coming from in America, remember this: we have won a World Series, a Stanley Cup, a WNBA championship, an NWSL championship, all while I've been there. And so we've done just a phenomenal All-Star Week. In 2027, we'll host an NFL draft, and we have race fans in Washington. And I explained this to Bud. We had a racing event here a couple of summers ago, and all of us were taken by surprise by the thousands of people that flocked to downtown D.C. That day. So yes, sports are fun and games, but yes, sports are also dollars and cents. And when you're the mayor, you heard the ambassador talk about this in August. Sometimes it's a little bit slower for restaurants and hotels. It's a little bit slower. So when thousands of people are already getting their reservations for our hotel rooms for this Indy weekend, by the way, you should get your hotel room for this Indy weekend. It means that more D.C. residents are working, more hotel workers are working, and more people can make the investments in their families that they so deserve. So our teams, and thank you for recognizing our team at HSEMA and Tanya Mitchell, who has coordinated so many large events in our city, our team at MPD and Fire and EMS, and our entire public safety apparatus. We're here and ready to serve you. Happy birthday, America.
Thank you, Ms. Mayor. Thank you, Madam Mayor. You know, just a side point on economic benefit. The Detroit Grand Prix is now downtown Detroit. This will be our 4th year racing. That race in downtown Detroit. That race in downtown Detroit brings over $101 million economic benefit to our city every single year. I want to double that number here with the number of people we're going to have here for free to make that $200 million of benefit to this city in August. You just watch what we do when we get there. You know, I'm lucky to work with one of the titans of industry and sports in Roger Penske. So I recognize when I see someone who possesses great entrepreneurial minds, but also one that's focused on the community and also giving back. Ted Leonsis has these qualities, and his team at Monumental Sports, from his son Zach and Jim Van Stone and the entire team there, are truly world-class to work with. They are helping us do all of our sales and sponsorship of this event, because I could not do that with my team because we don't have the intellectual capital, Ted, to do this in your city. What you have meant to our city with the teams that the mayor just mentioned, in keeping your stadium and your arena in our city, this city, I'm calling it our city now, is so important to all of us. Please welcome to the stage the chairman, the founder, Ted Leonsis.
Thank you so much. I was a student at Georgetown University, graduated during the bicentennial, started my first business, sold red, white, and blue snow cones right here. 2018, we gathered about 250,000 people right here. It was one of the great days for our city, uniting everyone when we won the Stanley Cup. This is the most important piece of real estate, I believe, in our country. And as our mayor coined Washington, D.C., it's not the District of Columbia, it's the District of Champions. And so now to have a race of this caliber coming here really means a lot, and to be able to celebrate and send a love letter around the world that the people can come here, come understand what Washington is all about, is really a great thing for us to do. We want to work and try to keep this event free. Penske is absorbing a lot of the costs, as is the city and the federal government, so we are going to corporate sponsors and trying to get them to buy suites, to do sponsorships. All the money is not going to Penske, it's to support all of the infrastructure, because we can have hundreds and hundreds of thousands of people here to celebrate DC, and also for a lot of young people be their first race. We know how important this city should be as a convener. Right up the street, Capital One, we bring 3 million people in per year to come into our city. They live in D.C. or Maryland or Virginia, or come in, one of the tourists that just want to experience professional sports. And this is a big, big social responsibility. And for us to be able to bring the federal government and the mayor's office, all of the auspices in the government, and for the White House to say, let's go and let's do this very, very quickly. It's going to be a great day, and we're thrilled to be associated with it. Thank you for coming, and Bud, I'll bring it back to you.
Thank you, Ted. Thank you, buddy. Thank you, Ted, for your leadership and what you've meant to this city as a world's sports capital. We're getting almost to the checkered flag here with our next speaker, and that's Team Penske's number 2 Chevrolet driver, Joseph Newgarden. And by the way, as somebody mentioned earlier, 48 hours ago, Joseph was strapped into his rocket ship, flying around the Phoenix Raceway at 180 miles an hour. With 8 laps to go in that race, he passed the competitor and went on to win that race at Phoenix International Raceway. So give him a round of applause for that. You know, Joseph's from Nashville. He's a true American. He's an American hero. He's a 2-time IndyCar champion. He's a 2-time in a row, by the way, Indy 500 champion as well, just a couple years ago. He's a true American hero to many people, and including myself, to us as well. I took Joseph around the racetrack for the first time today. He's another person who never saw the racetrack until we brought him here today. So many of his peers and competitors are going to see it also for the first time, but not in person, Joseph, like you have. So please welcome to the stage, a true champion, a true American hero, Joseph Newgarden.
Thanks, Bud. What an honor to be here today. I guess I'm representing the driver fold for the IndyCar series, and I got to say this is the most unique thing I have ever seen in motorsports. I've been racing for 15 years professionally, and I've certainly never done anything like this. So I am so excited to be here and to represent our championship, to represent Fox, to represent Team Penske, and all the great folks that have made this happen. I've got to meet a lot of great people here today. I actually want to recognize FCC Commissioner Carr. This is going to be a publicly televised event. A lot of people are going to be watching this, so nice to meet you. Thanks for your support. And also, Senator Banks from the great state of Indiana. Thank you for being here. Great to see you as always. I am a Tennessee guy. I live in Nashville, Tennessee, but the state of Indiana and Indianapolis is basically my second home. And I'm going to kind of wrap that into the point that I wanted to make today. What I find so great about this event and what I hope people take from it is the inspiration of automobile racing. If you're going to bring an automobile race to the Capitol here, why would it not be the IndyCar series? This is the most historic form of motorsport racing that you will find in the world. We're going to run the 110th running of the Indianapolis 500 this May in Indiana. So you're not going to find something more legendary, innovative, and inspiring as an IndyCar on these streets. So I'm going to personally be trying to win this race. They always don't. They ask a lot of us. They only ask one thing though. They say, "Can you please just win the race, Joseph?" Every time I show up, and I can never guarantee that for anybody. There's no, there's no magic behind it. You just got to work hard and try and make it happen with your team. But I think it's incredibly fitting to bring the IndyCar Series here and to represent the country and to inspire, hopefully, the next generation. The last thing I'll say is the reason I love IndyCar racing too. The reason I fell in love with it. It's much like trying to watch a team organize and build a space shuttle and fly to the moon. What drivers used to do when I would watch on TV or watch in person, I didn't know how it was possible for drivers to control these cars in city streets. And I always grew up wanting to do that, wanting to figure that out and to work with the team. So I hope we can inspire people this summer when we come here and they get to see this firsthand. There's no bad seating spot when you come to an IndyCar race on a street circuit. So definitely roam around. That's the whole point of it, is you can see the whole track, enjoy it with your friends and hopefully your family, and take in all the action. So what a pleasure to be here, complete honor, and can't wait to celebrate this entire summer with everybody. Thanks so much for the support.
Thanks, Joseph. As usual, he's certainly buttoned up. He was representing and congratulating and thanking Senator Banks for being here as well. I had that in my list, as well as FCC Chairman Carr as well. Thank you for being here as well. We expect Joseph to win the race, being a Team Penske guy, but we also run the IndyCar Series, so I need to be agnostic and hopefully everybody has a chance, right? Mark Steele is over here from Chevrolet. Mark runs all of Chevrolet Motorsports for us over here as well, too. Mark, thank you for being here as well with us. As I mentioned before, we're 166 days, all we are, from seeing this spectacle unfold behind us and around us. And I can't be more excited, and I hope, obviously, you couldn't be more excited also. Tell your friends, go to freedom250gp.com, freedom250gp.com. They have to get a free ticket online once we announce that, probably around April 1st. As we said before, expect 1 million people down this amazing mall behind us right here to celebrate this historic event. I'm excited about it. I got a lot of work to do with my partners, don't we, Tanya? A lot of work to do here. Don't we, Secretary Burgum? A lot of work to do here as well. And but we're going to make this happen and make all of you and everyone watching proud. Thank you very much. We have a few helmets here, so for your next cabinet meeting, Mr. Secretary, we have to have that on. Okay, is that okay?